Welcome back, guys. And if you're new here, then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're ending the night off with something a little bit different because I just couldn't pass this by. It's called This is the world's most advanced jet. And every time I watch a video like this, I just it blows my mind how advanced we actually are. Um, and yeah, my I always end up questioning why we don't have flying cars, but I mean, I guess we could do that perfectly with everything that we've done so far. But let's see what this video is about, guys.
This is Edwards Air Force Base in California. Dawn breaks over the desert as a strange aircraft taxis onto the runway. Its nose stretches an unprecedented 11 meters, nearly a third of its entire length. Where other planes have a cockpit, this one doesn't appear to have any windows.
Just for reference, I am 1.5 meters tall. No, I'm more than 1.5 meters tall. I'm 1 meter and 56 centimeters. So, I mean, no, yeah, I am basically 1.5 meters tall. So that's like me times however many times. I don't know math, but yeah, because some people well, someone in the comments say what meters are in feet, I guess.
Since the early days of supersonic travel, one major problem has remained unsolved. Something no one has even attempted since the tragic story and retirement of the Concord: breaking the sound barrier without the boom. No one, that is, except NASA. Behind closed doors, their top engineers have been secretly working on a highly advanced aircraft. The mission? Build a supersonic jet without the explosive sonic boom. Hey, I'm your host Regis, and today we're uncovering how NASA has been secretly developing the most advanced supersonic jet. This is the sonic boom, an unavoidable side effect of supersonic flight that has plagued aviation since we first broke the sound barrier. In 1947, Chuck Yeager proved that humans could actually fly faster than the speed of sound. But that achievement came with a price: a thunderous explosion that would follow every supersonic aircraft. The sound was so powerful that it shattered windows and scared livestock from miles away.
Because people came in with all their complaints. One lady complained that her chickens quit laying eggs. Whenever a sonic boom came, her chickens quit laying eggs. And there were lots of windows broken in the city, and people were complaining about that.
This controversial side effect,
I can't even imagine a sound so loud that it would break windows, like from miles away from where it's happening. That's crazy.
faded away over the years until the 1970s, when an exciting attempt to revolutionize air travel arose. The Concord emerged as a symbol of the future, a sleek, delta-winged marvel promising to shrink our world by flying at twice the speed of sound. Crossing the Atlantic Ocean in just 3.5 hours, the Concord offered an onboard experience that felt futuristic for its time. Since passengers couldn't hear the sonic booms from inside the cabin, a large display showed their speed as a reminder of just how fast they were flying. But the contrast between the Concord's luxurious onboard experience and that of the people who lived beneath its flight path sparked unexpected backlash. What was a marvel to some became a menace to others. Public outrage grew, and soon, one by one, nations began closing their airspace to supersonic travel over land. Instead of linking continents in record time, the Concorde was pushed out to the fringes of the world, and its routes were confined to open oceans. Still, it endured for nearly 3 decades, a relic of a future that never fully arrived.
You're telling me I could fly from here to, for example, the Republic Dominican to see my family in like 4 hours instead of taking an 11-hour flight? And that's why is that not a thing? Why would it get backlash if it doesn't even have the sound? I am confused. Or what? Like what?
And then came the crash. In
Oh.
2000, Air France Flight 4590 burst into flames upon takeoff, killing all on board and shattering the future of the Concorde. Public confidence crumbled overnight. With its high operating costs already straining its future, the tragedy delivered the final blow. By 2003, the last Concorde touched down for good, not because we had given up on supersonic travel, but because we had never solved its most fundamental flaw: the sonic boom that made it unwelcome in the skies. To understand why this problem was so difficult to solve, we need to take a look at what actually creates a sonic boom in the first place. The moment an aircraft punches past the sound barrier, it doesn't just create a single boom. It drags a continuous shockwave behind it, like a speedboat carving a wake through water. These merged waves then hit the ground as a sonic boom, measuring around 105 decibels, about as loud as a techno club in Germany. For 50 years, engineers tried to tame this phenomenon. They adjusted shapes and modified designs, but the laws of physics seemed unbeatable. The boom was considered an unchangeable fact of supersonic flight. Until now.
This is crazy. So they stopped. They stopped. I mean, I guess there's no. I was wondering if they're still flying across the ocean, but I'm guessing they're not because of that incident they had. But maybe in the future we'll be able to fly across countries in way less time and without the sonic boom, I guess. Maybe.
Today we are witnessing history.
How many people are excited to see the X-59?
With its revolutionary quiet supersonic technology.
NASA's X-59 is about to achieve what many thought impossible: supersonic flight with a sound no louder than a car door closing. That's the difference between a clap of thunder and a gentle knock, a reduction of 105 decibels to just 75. But achieving this meant completely rethinking everything we knew about aircraft design. To understand how engineers actually accomplished this, we need to go back to the drawing board. Literally. Designing an aircraft that could trick the laws of physics required a tool that didn't exist in the Concord era: supercomputers. At NASA's Langley Research Center, engineers started with a fundamental question: how do shockwaves actually behave around an aircraft? Using specialized wind tunnels, they made an important discovery. Shockwaves were not just single events, but formed at multiple points across an aircraft's body. While traditional aircraft designs allowed these shockwaves to merge into a powerful boom, NASA's engineers saw an opportunity. If they could keep these waves separated, they might be able to dramatically reduce the noise reaching the ground. In 2017, initial testing of a 9% scale model showed promising results. Using advanced flow visualization techniques, engineers could actually see how different shapes affected shockwave formation. This was, to put it mildly, a game changer. Through countless computer simulations, engineers refined every curve and angle. Each iteration was tested virtually, allowing them to predict how subtle changes would affect the aircraft's sonic signature. The wind tunnel tests used specialized imaging called Schlieren photography, which made shockwaves visible. This allowed engineers to verify their computer models and refine the designs further. By late 2018, after testing an 8% scale model with extreme angles up to 50 degrees, NASA had proof that their design could work. The question was no longer if they could quiet the boom, but how to build an aircraft around this revolutionary shape. The answer would push manufacturing technology to its limits and force pilots to completely rethink how they fly. What you're looking at might seem like a mistake. An aircraft with proportions so unusual, even experienced test pilots questioned its feasibility.
As a test pilot, the first time I looked at the design,
It's so weird to see how they how they make these and like everything that they have to test and try and make smaller models before they make the real thing, and then it might not act that as the real thing, so they probably do some type of like similar, I don't know, but that's a long process to go through. I also wonder now with AI, because AI can kind of learn new things, like can AI connect the dots quicker than humans can? Like do they use that while they engineer things? I don't know. Hmm.
I went, huh. Really had some questions about that.
The most striking feature is its nose, stretching an incredible 11 meters, which is larger than a school bus, 1/3 of the aircraft's total length. But this shape isn't just for show, it's about shaping the ripples it leaves behind. At supersonic speeds, air actually behaves a lot like water. Imagine a speedboat that, instead of leaving large waves, creates a gentle wake, kind of like a kayak's. The long nose helps the aircraft to slice through the air so that the shock waves gradually diffuse along the body, reducing the impact of the sonic boom. But this unique nose design created another problem, one that would force engineers to completely reimagine how pilots fly supersonic aircraft. But before we solve that mystery, there's another unusual feature that catches the eye. Unlike traditional aircraft with engines under the wings, the X-59's engine sits on top of the fuselage. Now, this isn't just different for the sake of being different. By placing the engine on top, engineers found that they could shield the ground from additional shock waves. Now, let's talk about one of the most puzzling things about the X-59. The cockpit is not at the front of the aircraft. So how do you fly a jet when you can't see what's in front of you? Well, the solution
Oh, the cockpit is where the pilot is? I mean, the nose is pretty gradually going down, and also I'm guessing they can use like some type of camera or something, right? Um, but you could still see, maybe. I mean, it doesn't seem that like wide or I don't know.
is something straight out of science fiction. Because this particular jet has no regular way to look forward, NASA placed ultra high definition cameras for external viewing. So yes, this is a jet with no front windows.
See, they need to put me to work in at NASA. I clearly there's something in there.
X-59 doesn't have a forward-facing window, so I won't be able to see where I'm going without a little help. At NASA, we've developed the external vision system.
But what happens?
No, wait, now that I think of it, that's kind of scary, because imagine that this like cuts off, then you can't see anything, and then yeah, that would be quite the issue.
If this critical system But the challenges don't end with
you have to be a pretty well, I guess all people that fly planes have to learn these things, but you have to be pretty good at flying to know how to fly that without seeing what's in front of you, I'm guessing. At least to like land, right? That's scary.
visibility. When you're breaking the sound barrier, even the air itself becomes your enemy. Static electricity builds up on the aircraft's surface, enough to interfere with sensitive electronics. The solution? A special anti-static paint with Teflon-like properties, more commonly found in your kitchen. But perhaps the most demanding challenge of all lies in the construction itself. When you're manipulating shock waves, every curve, every angle, and every surface must be perfect. One small imperfection could turn that carefully engineered thump back into a boom. That level of precision isn't happening in just any factory, as you might imagine. The X-59 is being assembled at Lockheed Martin's legendary Skunk Works in Palmdale, California, a place where aviation history is rewritten. To keep it lightweight and durable, the build process relies on advanced composite materials crafted with laser precision. Each section takes months of meticulous work, and while the development of and given its highly experimental nature, there are currently no plans to build engine was originally part of the
I wonder if it's done its first flight yet. That's weird.
The testing campaign for this aircraft is pretty darn unusual. NASA is preparing to conduct large tests with hundreds of volunteers, and a testing protocol unlike anything in aviation history. When you're trying to measure something as quiet as a car door closing from an aircraft moving at nearly 1,600 kilometers per hour, you need to rethink everything.
No, but be so for real. Who would volunteer to test fly something that just like hasn't flown yet?
The residents participating in these tests won't know. So now the next question is, what happens if they succeed? Studies show that most of potential supersonic routes are over land. And for these routes, we've been forced to fly at less than half the speed we're capable of, all because of the sonic boom problem. Let's put that into perspective for a moment. New York to Los Angeles, 5 hours today. With supersonic flight, that would be cut to 2 hours and 40 minutes. The X-59 is planned to have its maiden flight by late 2025. And by 2027, NASA will present its findings to the International Civil Aviation
Did it fly yet, guys? Did it fly yet? I want to know what the results were.
Organization and the FAA. But as per usual, there's a catch. For the first time in aviation history, regulations won't just be based on technical measurements. They'll be determined by human perception. The success of the X-59 doesn't just depend on engineering. It depends on what people feel and hear in their everyday lives. So what do you think about NASA's X-59 jet? Could supersonic travel make a comeback in the near future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
This video is very well made. And secondly, that was so interesting. Thirdly, I hope so. I really hope this would become a thing. I mean, it's a bit scary always stepping into new territory, but this would make flying so much more enjoyable. Like it would be the routes would be so much shorter. I think, at least as a person that has to fly like every year various times, I think that would be awesome, honestly. I mean, it takes me to go see my family in Finland like 4.5 hours. It would probably take like 2 hours if this was a thing. I think that's so cool. I really like that. I wonder if they've like if they've tried it yet. Someone let me know in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for joining me. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.